What do you understand from the term viscosity?
It is the resistance of the fluid motion.
Okay, it is the resistance of the fluid motion. Okay. Vidur, can you give me the formula to calculate the coefficient of viscosity? You can't hear, Vidur? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay.
Ma'am.
Can you tell me the equation to find the coefficient of viscosity, Vidur?
Eta is equal to FL by AB.
F?
L by AB.
Yes, eta is equal to FL by AB. Okay, correct. What is the SI unit of viscosity? Nevin, what is the SI unit of viscosity?
SI unit of viscosity.
I did not understand what you are saying. What is the SI unit viscosity?
Pascal per second. Pascal per second.
Donna, what's the SI unit of viscosity?
Ma'am, Pascal per second.
I'm asking Donna. Donna, what is the SI unit of viscosity? Tell me. I didn't get you, Donna. Once again. Hello? Donna, I can't hear you. Ashwin, you were there, no? Last session of the class. Can you tell me SI unit of viscosity? If you don't remember, at least look at in your notebook, all of you, what you have written.
That's the Pascal.
Pascal? Second. Okay, I'll help you at least that much. Pascal is the pressure, Pascal second. Okay, Aryan, can you give me another SI unit? Pascal second is correct. Similarly, there's another SI unit is in the name of a scientist. Starting with the P. Not Pascal, another one. Remember? Achyut. Yeah, Achyut, you are correct. Aryan. Sorry, not Arya, Aryan. Poiseuille. Okay, Poiseuille. Okay, correct. Okay. Rijas, can you remember another equation in terms of Newton? Viscosity. One is Pascal second, Poiseuille, and another one.
Newton second per meter square.
Newton second per meter square. Okay, very good. Okay. Shivani, can you tell me the equation for Stokes' law to find the viscous force?
Ma'am, last class I was not there.
Last class you did not join. Okay. Sharon, what about the Stokes' law equation?
F is equal to 6 pi eta AV.
6 pi eta AV. Nandana, what do you mean by terminal velocity?
It's the velocity attained by a body in a fluid motion when the viscous force is equal to gravitational.
Yes, viscous force equal to gravitational force. Okay, good. Aditya, can you just explain the motion of the rainfall? On the basis of this viscosity, can you just say in your words the motion of the rainfall from the sky to the ground?
And first, we should consider the raindrops as a sphere.
Yes. Now, I don't want equation. I just want you to that movement. I explained to you how it is, how the velocity changing, increasing, and till how it attained terminal velocity. I want that portion.
First, the velocity is acceleration due to gravity.
Yes, okay, good,
then
correct.
Then it increases and it falls down.
Yes.
Then at last it reaches.
So at what point it attained terminal velocity? Means how it attained a terminal velocity. What is that condition attaining terminal velocity? Condition means at a particular, I told you when this happen, it attains terminal velocity. Already they have given me that answer. In the definition of the terminal velocity itself, that answer is there.
Ma'am, when viscous force becomes equal to gravitational force.
Yes, correct. Okay. Okay, good. So why I am saying this, that some may be wondering, ma'am, in particular point we are telling viscous force is directly proportional to velocity. At that afterwards viscosity becoming inversely proportional to velocity. So because of these changes, I am talking about in the case of a rainfall, even the same case for a straight line motion. Straight line motion also same thing only. First, whenever a car is moving on the road, it will experience a frictional force. But as we increase, as we apply more force, frictional force also increases with that. So once the force increases, velocity also increases. But at a particular point, this both will become equal. The applied force, because Newton's third law is like that. Viscous force, for every action, there is an equal and opposite force. So similarly, in the case of a solid also, there is a point, frictional force and this opposing applied force become equal. After becoming equal, it attain a constant velocity, and then if you increase the force again, more than frictional force, the bus or car can move faster. It is the same concept in the case of viscosity also in fluid motion. Beginning, Aditya has told me, the beginning session of the rainfall, it is only gravitational force is pulling the rain. As it started falling, slowly viscous force acting on them. It opposes. And once it come to a particular point, once viscous force opposes, velocity started increasing. When it come at a particular point, what happened? Viscous force and this gravitational force okay. So, can you hear me? Because in between some audio problem. Okay?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes,
Okay. So, after that, once attain that terminal velocity, if you apply a force, external force, more than the viscous force becoming a negligible, it is reducing, and the object, whichever in the fluid motion also started moving with the maximum velocity. So this is the situation is happening. So, okay. So that's the thing I'm explaining, because some may get confused. Means in the first equation, velocity is directly proportional. Then second equation, it is becoming inverse proportional. Why this is happening? Because of this actually it is Newton's third law is applicable in everywhere, whether fluids, liquids. So because of that, and our life or existence of everything on the universe is depending upon this equal and opposite forces. And then if you overcome that frictional force naturally, velocity increases again, further it increases. So that is what the term critical velocity. There is a velocity which maximum velocity, then beyond that things are not the way we wanted. Okay, that's the thing. Clear? Okay, so that's we have moved on to we completed viscosity. So those are little doubt regarding this. I think it is clear to you now. Someone is asking me. Okay. So, similarly, now we are moving on to next section is equation of continuity. Very important thing. It is also is applicable in the case of a fluid motion. So already we have learned viscosity. Now you have to learn about energy of the fluid. Then we will learn surface tension, all that. So before that, we are moving on to another important principle is Bernoulli's principle. So far we learned just like a frictional force in fluid motion also is it is exerting a resistance force. Even electrical energy also there's a resistance. Similarly in fluid motion also there is a resistance. So that one term you have already learned. Then we also learned about pressure, how the pressure in liquids and in fluids and solids. So next term we are going to learn whether it obeys conservation law of energy. Okay, so velocity, we have already learned velocity is there, area is there, pressure is there, force is there in fluid motion. So next term, what we are going to learn is about energy. What type of energy a liquid in motion can have. So in our daily life, conservation of energy is very common. Energy neither be created nor be destroyed. So it is applicable to every matter. So how it is applicable, that is what we are going to see in Bernoulli's principle. Okay, so before we have to learn Bernoulli's principle, you have to get a basic theory that is known as equation of continuity. So you can write the heading, sorry, equation of continuity. So you can see in the slide, equation of continuity. CONTINUITY, equation of continuity. So for that we can have a figure before we go to this detail. So you can draw roughly the picture, a tube a water tap. You can just consider a column of a water tap with different area of cross section, can say. Yes. So upper part you can make it little bigger size opening as we compare to the lower part opening. Then we consider a point, a column, a liquid column. In that we indicate BC. The beginning point of the pipe we indicate, the fluid is entering. Beginning point of the thing indicate A, and we consider a small pot BC. Similarly, here also we consider a small part. So that we can give DE. Just a minute, don't draw now. Let me complete first properly. Those who have textbook, it is in your textbook, page number 255. Those who have textbook with you, you can look at the same picture in page number 255. Page number 255, figure 10.9. We can write written as E, end point. This is E. So fluid is entering. So from the beginning to here, it is BC. Here, beginning to end, it is DE. And this entering point alone is A. And This part is at a height h1 from the surface, and this one is at a height h2 from the surface. You can write it, this is as h1, and this height we can have it as h2. So we consider it is as a streamline. And this distance from BC, we can take it as delta x. And here also, because same fluid is flowing, no? So here also we can consider as delta x. Okay, so I just explained to you the situation of this figure. So there is a pipe. The pipe has been suspended in the air from the ground surface, and there is an amount of a fluid is flowing from end A to the other end E. So this is the fluid entering in, and this is fluid is entering out. So that is the situation. And we are considering a liquid column, a fluid column BC here from the beginning of this. And we also consider the another fluid column DE. So what you understand means the same fluid is, when you reach here, is the same fluid is entering in DE. Because fluid is entering in, flowing through the pipe, and it is coming out. So the same flow is reaching here. So once it reaches to this, we are giving the name as D. Okay. So because it has no change, correct? And we consider it is an ideal fluid. Ideal fluid means we ignore the viscous force and other resistive factors here. So we are considering an ideal fluid. There is, we assume the viscous forces, gravitational force is there, but viscous force is negligible. So because we consider it is an ideal streamlined fluid. So then only we started deriving the equation. Okay. So you can write down, consider a streamlined fluid. Consider streamlined flow of a fluid of density rho. As you see in your slide, consider streamlined flow of a liquid of density rho through a pipe of different area of cross section. Through area of cross section. Remaining one don't write. I'll give you further explanation, then only next steps we have to write. Consider a streamlined flow of a liquid of a density rho through a pipe of different area of cross section. Assume that fluid is ideal. Assume that fluid is ideal. So viscous force is negligible. Assume the fluid is ideal. So viscous force is negligible.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you say again?
Assume fluid is ideal. So viscous force is negligible. Okay, next line. Let BC and DE. Let BC and DE, BC and DE are the two regions of flow. Two regions of flow. Regions of flow. BC and DE are the two regions of flow between 2 points, between 2 points B and D, between 2 points B and D. So BC and D we are considering as a two region, correct? So we consider the fluid flow from B to D. Next line. Since the same fluid is passing through this region, number of fluid particles crossing BC and D are the same. BC and D are the same, but with different velocity. Due to change in area of cross section. Due to change in area of cross section. Due to change in area of cross section. Did you got it, children? Did you get it?
Ma'am,
Achyut,
ma'am, can you say the paragraph again?
beginning.
Yeah, no, after passing through the fluid is passing through the.
Fluid passing, same fluid is passing through the region, comma, the same number of fluid particles, crossing BC and DE. So same fluid is passing. So because of that, how many number of particles are there in that? The same number of particles passing through both the region with different velocity, due to different area of cross section. Okay, that's the reason. Thus, you can continue. Thus, we have density rho of the fluid. Mass by volume. Rho is equal to mass by volume. Therefore, mass is equal to rho V. In which volume V is equal to area into length. So even the cylinder also, you can say it's the area of a cylinder is a pi r square h. So if you consider this pipe as a cylinder, then it is going to be pi r squared h, correct? Pi r squared h means not the height. In this case, what is the length of that pipe? Okay, here we have another term h1 is there. So that is at what height it is raised. Okay. Here we are talking about length, means it is the length of the tube. So that is thing. So if it is cylinder, pi r square into h. So instead of h, we use the word length. Area into length. Clear? The next line. Since fluid which is entering through A, fluid which is entering through A, displaced at a length of del x, displaced at a length of del x in BC, length of the fluid column, at that particular region, length of the fluid column at that particular region is del x, particular region del x. Next line. Consider the fluid is moving in particular time del t. Consider the fluid is moving in a particular time del t. Then velocity of the fluid. At BC, V1 is equal to del x by del t, or del x is equal to V1 del t. Del x is, yes?
Velocity at BC, right?
At BC. So that is V1 is equal to del x by del t, where del x is equal to V1 del t. Now you can write this one on the slide. Thus, mass of the fluid flowing in area A1, mass of the fluid flowing through area A1, mass of the fluid flowing through the area A1 at region BC, mass of the fluid flowing through area A1 at region BC in a time delta t. In a time delta t, we can write, because mass is rho v. Now you can substitute. Yes?
Ma'am, through the area A1?
A1 at region BC. Area A1 at region BC in a time delta t. We can assume the at region mass of the fluid as M1. M1 is equal to mass, we have written density, mass is equal to rho into V. Now what we are going to do? We have to substitute value of this volume and plus rho here and get the equation. So our equation is going to be rho A1 instead of volume is A1 V1 dt. A1 V1 delta t. Either you can write rho A1 V1 delta t or A1 V1 rho delta t. No problem. Both are same. Only just you can write this way also. Now you got it. Why A1 V1 delta T came? A1 V1 delta T came because of the volume. Because volume is the area into length. And how you got the value of length? From the equation velocity. So length is delta x. So instead of delta x, we substituted the equation V1 delta T. Correct? You got that idea? Let us write that is as equation 1. Next line. So for the next region, we don't have to find out. Next region is DE. Why? The same fluid particle is flowing, but velocity changes and area also different. So that is why we are giving A2 and V2 in the second region DE. Correct? So write down. Similarly, mass of the fluid flowing out. Similarly, mass of the fluid flowing out through the area A2, from the region DE. Similarly, mass of the fluid, it's an important derivation, okay? Similarly, mass of the fluid flowing out through the area A2 from the region DE in a time delta T. In a time delta T. In a time delta T, you can write second equation, that is M2. M2 is equal to A2 V2 delta T rho, or how you wrote the first step, same way you can write rho A2 V2 delta T. That is equation 2. Okay. Yes. So what is the next step? So from this, what we understand? Velocity changes, but the same fluid is flowing, whichever the fluid which is entering through A is coming out through B. So this both equations actually going to be equal. So write down. Thus fluid mass flowing in equal to fluid mass flowing out. Fluid mass flowing in equal to fluid mass flowing out. So you can copy the remaining steps from this slide. Substitute A1 B1 equation 1. Therefore, by combining equation 1 and 2. Therefore, by combining equation 1 and 2, A1 B1 delta T rho is equal to A2 V2 delta T rho. Cancel the similar terms. That means rho delta T cancel, and finally we are getting an equation A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. That is area into velocity of the fluid entering in equal to area into velocity of the fluid flowing out. In general, we can write AB is a constant. In general, we are removing 1 and 2 and all. General, AB is equal to a constant. This is known as equation of continuity. Okay. So it's a simple one if you understand that the theory. So only thing, even area of cross section is differ in a pipe. This is happening in a practical life, no? Whatever is the area of the cross section, when you pump the water, if you are pumping 1 liter of the water through a pipe, if area of cross section differs at a particular places, everywhere this equation is similar. That's the thing. Okay. Okay, children, we will meet in the next class. Thank you.